Yep. Yep. We're good. Now I need to. All right, it's going live. Sweet. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Nakiato here, and welcome to another Into the Melding podcast, brought to you by Sitting on a Couch Gaming, sittingonacouch.com and MMORPG.com. Today we're going to be talking about the Firefalls. You know, the fire with the falls and the stuff going on. Today I am joined by Highsight to my right. Shit, I don't know what side that's on.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
somewhere.
Right, that's away.
I'm the
Um,
sexy one.
that's hard to determine, sir. There
No, it's
are
not.
there are at least two sexy people here, so I don't know. And then down below me, that sounds awkward. Uh, Down below me is Terricon, and down in that direction is Dark Cisum. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
I'm Terricon 4. I do Dev Trackler, weekly wrap up on Reddit, bit in game. That's more or less me.
I'm Highsight. I do stream with a community of chaos as well as a little bit of solo. I also have been playing Firefall for about over a year now, so I've seen it through the good, the bad, and the current. I won't say which one that is yet. And yeah, I love first-person shooters, love RPGs, so it's my beautiful hybrid.
And hello, I'm Dark Cisum. I'm playing Firefall for about 2 years now, and I've run the army RAR in-game, and also do all the stuff on RAR for Firefall.com.
Rar for Firefall. All right,
Yes.
so let's jump into it. How has Firefall been recently? What's on the agenda for today? Well, today we're going to be going over, first thing, the event that just ended. They've been doing a lot of events recently, and there's some pretty cool-ass events. The Chosen event went through its third and final, what is it, weekend? You know, Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
And
Mm.
Now,
they gave out some pretty cool ass prizes. They gave away 7-day VIP. If you stayed logged on for an hour, they also gave you some sweet fucking Chosen glider pad. Well, not glider pad, glider. It acts like the celestial glider or the resource migration one.
Yeah.
The emergency response. And then what else? What they gave away a pet.
there was a pet.
The little executioner pet.
There was a pet, yep.
Yeah. Little red guy. He's cool.
The
looking.
Earthbreaker, I believe he's called.
He's chill. He's
Yeah.
a chill little guy.
He dances with you.
Credits and tokens.
Oh, that's adorable.
And he's so
He does-
fast.
he'll do whatever you want. So if you do a roar, a taunt, whatever, he'll do it back to you.
Monkey see, Chosen do.
But you know, this event is now over, and it's most likely going to be replaced by something else because they seem to be doing a lot of events to, you know, interact with us, which is nice, which is definitely a great change of pace from what we experienced in beta. What are your guys' thoughts on the Chosen event that we just finished?
I'd say for the most part, pretty good. You know, still
So
there's
You are cutting.
Yeah,
in
is audio
out,
cutting
sir.
out? Yeah.
is my audio.
Yeah, buddy. Afraid so.
Oh no.
I just clicked that.
Yeah.
It should hopefully be working now. That's going to cost me 30 minutes later. Oh well. Uh, Either way, you get lots of Chosen, but you have a lot more players, and when it's the AoE fest, the players always win, so I still think that they do need to find some more type of open world boss things to come in there. The Dark Slips are alright, but I feel like the fight could be more interesting, especially since the Dark Slips are pretty much just raining, because their attacks don't do squat. I've never actually noticed their attacks like practically affect a fight, so it could use some more work, but it is still a fun event to jump on and fight some Chosen, have some big explosions, and watch your map get covered in red symbols.
Yeah. On to the next person. We
Yeah,
never
I'll
set up
actually
an order,
say-
so the way that we'll do it is Terricon will go first, Highsight, and then Dark. Cool?
Sure.
Works for me.
All right.
So for me, what I liked about it, I definitely like the idea of a big PvP event, even if one side was smaller than the other. But the thing about it, the problem with it, in my opinion, is that it's all about the Zerg rush. I mean, you're going to die over and over and over again, and there's no consequence behind your death aside from a few repairs. And the fact of the matter is, the Chosen, who you're playing against, they're always going to lose. There's no win scenario for them. They're just staying until they die. Because let's face it, they weren't playing at their fullest because they couldn't. It was probably, they were restricted from doing such things, which makes perfect sense because a lot of people would say it's not a fun game if you're dying constantly, but that's the thing. They didn't really make it so the Chosen weren't overpowered. They just made it so they could flat out destroy an entire army with one AoE blast. And to me, that gets old fast. It's just the idea of if you dodge the AoE, you'll be fine. However, if you happen to be in the one wrong spot at the wrong time, you die that one time and then come back and fight again. So to me, it's not really that engaging, unfortunately, but I will give them props for the idea, and I think it has potential.
Yeah, I really liked the event because you had some more interaction. Usually, when you play against the AI, it's not very interesting because the AI mostly behaves the same and you can predict it after a while. But with the devs, you kind of had the more variations in the movements and stuff. So it was definitely interesting to see something more. So, well, I wish there would be a better AI, but I can understand also from a programming perspective that this isn't an easy task, especially with the mainframe they're running behind on Amazon and so on. But it really gave a more depth to the game, and I think my PC isn't so good, so I never got a really nice frame rate to actually enjoy the fights. But well, it was still fun seeing so many people, and it was also fun if you just ran around somewhere else and you get more Chosen. I really like that interaction where you don't just sit around and get killed by some other mobs that run around, but when you actually have some Chosen to fight, that I miss very much currently if there are not so many Chosen.
See, and I think that one is the most entertaining aspect for me, is the fact that we have something to shoot other than normal PvE mobs. The same dynamic events over and over and over again and stuff like that. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, or what we have in the game isn't bad. It's just when you've done them a million times because you've been playing the game for 3 freaking years, then it's just like, oh, give me more. Please give me more. So being able to fight a developer playing as one of the bad guys is something that winds up being a blast because it's different. It's more reactive, they can... Fighting a person is always more fun than fighting just another AI mob. You could have the best AI in the freaking world, and it is still more entertaining to shoot a person than an AI mob. So that's why I like the Chosen event. I also like the fact that we get a bunch of rewards and shit like that. Now, it's really hard to judge whether the event is successful, whether people like it and all of that, just because it gets bloated by the fact that they give out rewards. Like, for example, Steam Charts was something that was linked on the forums, and everybody was saying like, "Oh my God, look at, we just need to have a bunch of Chosen in the world. That's why everybody's logging on." Well, no, not really. These people are logging on because they're getting free rewards and shit. Like, that's the main reason why they're logging on.
Exactly.
But
you see, therein lies a bigger problem of the rewards. A lot of the rewards were not based on fighting the devs. What the problem was you wouldn't really get rewards if you were fighting the devs all the time, because that doesn't count towards the got to do 30 missions thing. So it really split the time of some people.
Part of the problem is that, like, when I was on 2 weeks ago with the event, there was, my shard had 2 devs in the first half hour, and then we didn't have any devs for the entire rest of the event. So they have to be really careful with that. And as far as it goes on, also there was some problems with the thing counting when you get an assist for the dev, because they want to have it like you can't just fire off one ray in a bullet. You're not going to get an assist for that. But when you've got 500 people, it's that, like, even if it's just 1% of the damage dealt has to be by you to get an assist, it can start to be a problem, and a lot of people weren't getting credit.
Yeah, it was actually 5%, which meant if 20 people were firing on him, if more than 20 people were firing on him,
And there
odds
usually
are,
were.
yep, there's not going to be 5% to give.
And there's
So.
usually specific frames that are going to be able to hit a lot more easily against a moving dev.
But to their credit, they did say they're going to be addressing that, and I saw that they already did by changing it to the hour-long thing, where you now get credit for just playing for the hour, which that was a good move at the time, but I'd love to see that improved upon.
It's good, but at the same time, it also encourages just logging on and AFKing. Because that's exactly what I did when I came down to, like, I was sleeping during the entire freaking thing just because I work graveyard and I hadn't. They apparently like to stick this at the same goddamn time every time, so it's like right in the middle of my sleep. So I sacrificed a little bit of sleep and I got up a couple hours early. Yes, a couple hours. Thank you, Red 5. Thank you so much for that. I woke up a couple hours early, logged on 20 minutes before the event ended, and I just stood there until I got the chosen wings. Like that's all. It didn't encourage me to play or have fun or do anything awesome. It just encouraged me to stay logged on, get those, and then go back to sleep because I was freaking tired. So, oh, we got somebody in chat. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's definitely a great idea to encourage people to stay logged in for stuff like this. But I don't think it's a good idea to encourage them to stay logged in and AFK, because these people, they're eating up bandwidth, and they're not providing anything for you. They're not making the event fun for anyone else. They're just a player that is someone that you have to stream textures to and do all of the server-side processing and whatnot of that person.
They just become a resource hog.
Yeah, exactly. And the only thing that they're doing is fucking standing there. So,
but there is a solution to this, though, and they already have it built into the game. Keep it at the hour login time, but instead of it measuring an hour of login time, measure an hour of combat time.
Yeah.
But that's really hard to measure accurately.
No, it's not. Well, okay, accurately maybe, but they already have something in place where it knows when you're in combat.
Yeah,
the game knows.
That's how it measures your
HKM. It knows that you're in combat, but they'd have to try and figure some way to space it out for, when you're just running around between areas.
No, that's fine. That's perfectly fine, because that's already what they're encouraging. They want you to run around the different chosen events and take.
Yeah, but my point is during the time running between, that would make it so an hour comes a lot more, so you have to shrink it down a lot. But at that point, then you could just say that you have two people, do a slash duel with each other, and just sit there firing off one shot every so often. There's going to be ways that people will try and get around it.
I mean, if that's going to be your way to get around it, that's just a disappointing way to go about it, in my opinion. I feel like you'd be wasting way more time doing that than just playing the actual damn game.
Yeah.
People will do it, though.
Some
There's
people
one thing
will,
I've learned, people will do it.
At the same time.
For the AFK, just have it automatically kick people if they're AFK for too long.
It already does that.
Yeah, but people can just walk against stuff.
Right.
Nakiato, how did you do that? Did you just tap W every
so
often?
This is just more effort put on them.
Basically, the way that I did it was I stood there and I was alt-tabbed, and every 3 minutes or so I would tab back in, jump, and then tab back out.
That will work.
Okay.
Yeah,
I do that a lot when I was working on my add-ons with my test buddy. Like, I'd have a test bot on the side, and I'd have to every now and then just move it around so it didn't disappear while I was working on squad functions.
That's exactly what I used to do in, like, WoW back in the day, Every time I had to AFK in a PvP zone or something, just hop. All right, we're good. Yeah, all right, cool. And I still get my vouchers. Yes, But
You little monster.
Oh, no, I'm such an asshole. But,
yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want. People will still find a way to go around it. So make it easier so you don't have to spend time on such mechanics that people anyway will break. So it's just a trade-off.
Exactly. You just got to take it as it comes and make it a little harder on people to AFK. And I don't know, personally, I think that's a good
and make it a little harder.
Ayo!
Ayo!
Hey, you told me this was a PG stream. I wasn't going to point that out.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was saying things?
Yeah. You were saying something about hard and coming.
Oh yeah, that was just it was just the whole count combat time instead of AFK time. Make it a little harder on the AFKers. Yeah. Take it as it comes, and roll with it. See, I saw the
actually when they first said that it will count the hours, I first thought they will really count the combat, because for me that makes more sense, because if you just can stay there and AFK, it's too cheap. If you have to like be in combat, then you have to shoot something, which is kind of the idea behind the event, that you shoot chosen and that you fight to death or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was kind of surprised.
Chalk it up to a certain number of chosen kills or assists.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of combat or cheap combat, what frames do you think still need to be balanced, just in general? Because I know we still have a lot of people complaining about like recluses or rhinos in PvP specifically, or the hell is the other one that starts with an Raptor? Yep, that one, the Raptor. A lot of people are complaining about those 3 frames specifically. What are your guys' thoughts on balance and everything?
Well, for starters, I haven't gotten as much playtime, especially in PvP, since launch. I used to do a lot of PvP, but these days I don't do nearly as much, so exactly how the balance is going there, I don't know. For the most part, my current experience pretty much just says basic stuff like Nighthawk and Electron and stuff are having problems in raiding and stuff, but on the PvP end, well, my last experience was running around as my mammoth, ignoring attacks from everybody, and with the exception of one Firecat who kept burning me to a crisp.
Mm-hmm.
And that and Recluses. Yeah, my experience has been fairly limited with PvP. Recluse still is just really annoying, I'd say, because of the snares and stuff. They're adding that fix in the change for the 5-second cooldown, but I just am not a fan of getting slowed, especially if I'm already really slow. So, yeah, I'm not the best for this question right now.
It's all good.
So, I got a big-ass list on this one. Let's see. First and foremost,
bring it.
Here comes my favorite frame, naturally, Electron. As it's already been said by Terricon over here, it absolutely needs some changing, because in its current state, it's really not... It doesn't do anything better that all the other frames don't do better than it already. So, I mean, they keep saying, okay, we want to make it a support frame, so it can't do a lot of damage. It's like, okay, that's fair enough. So why don't my shields actually do anything for anybody?
There needs to be a little bit better give and take there. All right, so my damage isn't freaking fantastic.
Exactly.
Now, why don't you buff, my support abilities then? Because support abilities tend to get nerfed pretty hard. For example, Dragonfly and Healing. Healing has been nerfed like 4 times in the last year. Stop nerfing my goddamn healing, okay? Like, I just want to keep people alive. That's all I want to do.
You're gonna hate my number 2, but I'll continue with the Electron for now.
I will say one thing about the Electron with the shields. If you get the Mammoth's perks that add the plus 2 seconds to a shield and stuff, they have a massive improvement in its power. I'd still say it's underpowered for like raiding and stuff, but they do help its support a lot, proportionally way more than like on the Mammoth or anything.
I've saved my own life and many other people's lives with my shields in the past. My problem with it, though, is it should go beyond just a 1-second life save. It should be, if you're going to be shielding somebody, if you're going to be using an ability that's going to shield an entire team, that shield had to have been worth blowing a 30 to 40 second cooldown, because if it only ends up lasting for 4 bullets, and it's like, yay, I saved his life for now. But I mean, then you're dead after the 5th bullet.
No,
and if your gun doesn't make you generally DPS worthwhile, then your abilities need to be good enough to be worth that extra loss.
Think about Assault for a second. Okay, so the Assault has pretty high DPS. They've got a really nice gun. Now, they also have mobility. They have Afterburner, for example, which can get a bunch of freaking charges, and they completely remove you from combat when you use those. Like, you can get away from the person. Well, melee, or it's also very hard to shoot a moving target that goes that freaking quick. So it's definitely a great combat ability as well. It's a good defensive and offensive ability. You can chase someone down with it.
On that. You toss Healing Surge on, not only are you running away, you're getting health back, too.
Exactly. So, the Assault has a better ability in that sense than anything that the Electron has, honestly. And same thing for Dragonfly. my emergency response is crap. It is complete crap compared to anything any of the assaults have for mobility. But, I mean, I get it. You don't want all of the classes to have the same abilities. You want them to bring their own variety and change, certain aspects of combat and stuff like that. Well, okay, I still don't need a crap ability, so...
In my opinion, they could do that more like take Afterburner for the assault, and Cannonball, also for the assault, is awesome. It's, the idea of having... Each one's really good in its own right, but they're majorly different. Also, like the Mammoth. I reference the Mammoth a lot. I like it. Teleport Shot, once you get the range modules and stuff on there, that is an amazing ability. That's one of the... A lot of people, that's their reason to play the Mammoth.
It makes you one of the most mobile frames in the game, period. It is an amazing...
Yeah, but the key part is it does so in a completely different way, gameplay-wise and entertainment-wise and everything. It's really powerful in its own right, but it does so in a different way than how the Assault and other frames use mobility. In my opinion, they could use to try and take more of those really powerful things, but change how they work sufficiently so that it's still different for each frame, but still powerful.
That is... hold on one second. Can one of you guys message James real quick and tell him about that title thing? Because I have no way to change any of that. I have no control over any of that, so...
And while one of you guys do that, since I can't do anything about that either, I might as well get on to my other frame. I'm only going to talk about one other one, even though I have a way long list, but I don't want to keep Dark Cisum from getting his turn. I just want to say, and you're going to hate me for this, Nakiato, the Dragonfly needs looking at. It really needs looking at, and I mean that in the sense that it can be OP.
I wouldn't necessarily say that the Dragonfly is OP.
I'm saying it can be OP. That's the trick. Because I've seen loadouts where that thing is damn near unkillable. It can get its healing dome up almost instantly, and when that's up, it's so damn hard to kill those things. In addition, the AoE can be like 20 meters long.
to be fair, you're also playing an underpowered frame.
You are. That's true, but underpowered frame doesn't mean anything if you can't kill the fucking thing. Or the damn thing.
And then it also matters too, like what is that person's power rating versus yours? These are all things that you need to take into account. Overall, when you run into a raptor, for example, raptors, if it doesn't even really matter what their power rating are, as long as that person's got a little bit of distance on you, you're screwed. They're gonna kill you. It takes one overload and you're dead. That's it. That's done. Now, when it comes to a Dragonfly, 1 out of every 15 freaking Dragonflies you run into will actually have enough power rating and a good loadout to the point where they become an issue. So they do need looking at slightly, but it's not one of those things where it's an overpowered class.
Honestly, I would really say it's just the healing dome that needs examination. That's my personal opinion on it. I don't think that there should be, even for an HKM, I don't think that there should be a 20-meter wide healing radius. And that's radius, bear in mind. 20-meter radius. So 40-meter diameter sphere of healing forever. It seems a little
crazy.
So it doesn't last forever. It's pretty big, but when it comes to like raids and stuff like that, that's one of those abilities that it saves a lot of fucking lives in raids. So
maybe just look at the self-heal effects or how that procs with perks.
Right, because if you're going to make it that, if you want to use that as a support ability, then you got to find a way to make the supporter vulnerable during that if it's going to have such a huge output for everyone else in the team.
See, but that's also one of the parts that becomes a pain in the ass too. Healing Ball, for example. They did that with Healing Ball. You could not heal yourself with Healing Ball for a long, long time. Guess what? That wound up being pretty much freaking useless. Well, not necessarily. It still winds up being a decent damage ability and also a decent healing ability, but only receiving a little bit of healing back from someone that you have healed and not being able to heal yourself. It sucks not having a self-heal. The only self-heal that you had was freaking Healing Pillar, and guess what? You had to throw that bitch down and wait for it to charge up for like 5 seconds.
Which makes, like, people would just time their Nova Cannon so it hits right before then, damages anyone, and throws them out.
Exactly. And so that's...
Or Crater. I love timing.
Or Crater. Crater.
Crater's good.
I will say this about it, though. I'm not saying you got to have no healing off the Healing Dome. What I am saying is like a 50% healing loss from Healing Dome on the deployer. I think that seems fair, and it makes you a little easier to kill. That's my personal take on it. I'm not saying it's the absolute definitive answer. I'm just saying that's where I would start if I were looking at something like that.
Okay. So what about abilities that make you invulnerable for several seconds?
Along the lines of bulwark or something like that, through a shield or something?
Mm-hmm.
I would say that that's a little different in the sense that it's the difference between a duration of 20 seconds that can be destroyed and a duration of, like, how long would you say at max
it doesn't
healing?
last very long.
Really? Because I've seen one that has lasted quite a long time.
I have seen a couple of cases that, like, I don't know how they get them, but I have, seen a case where...
Because the thing is, they get them back real quick.
But see, the thing about it is, if you spec it, use modules to increase its length, then you're making it so that its healing potency doesn't last, or doesn't actually heal you for a lot. So you're getting smaller amounts of healing over a longer period of time, whereas if you put it in potency or something like that, you make it heal for more, but it lasts a hell of a lot less of time. So
right, but I've noticed because the thing is, once you drop it, it's popped and it's already charging again. The healing that you're doing is counting towards building up your HKM again. So by the time it's over, your HKM's already at about probably in the 50% range or 70% range, even if you haven't extended on it.
No, it's not.
It can be.
It is.
I'm telling you.
Even with the longest amount, it can probably make it to about 15%.
No.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does Healing Dome still do the thing where it ticks itself up during the dome? Does that actually happen right now?
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about.
Okay, because I used to do it with Tremors, and I used to keep up Tremors 90% of the time, but then they made it so when it's actually doing its duration, it can't charge up. So if they haven't done that with Healing Dome, then they partially explain.
Yeah. Well, see, they need to do that with every ability in general.
Right.
Every ability should not be charging while the ability is still happening.
Decoy is the perfect example. Decoy should not be charging while you are stealth. That is the most broken thing.
Yeah. Well, stealth in general is one of the most broken things in the game.
Mm-hmm.
The stealth right now is just effing ridiculous. There's no reason why I should be running around for, like, seriously 30 seconds trying to find a goddamn player that went ahead and stealthed.
Unless other players have better ways to detect people through a SINS mechanism or something.
Well, the only way to do it now, the only efficient way for anybody to do it now is to run around with that rocket launcher, which is why we're seeing lock-ons being so prevalent now.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Maybe make it so, like, anyone can just pull out a scan hammer, and if you use that, then you can get a seismic, like, to show a footprint path where someone's going.
See,
some mechanic to be added so that you can try and track people.
Some mechanic, but I don't think it should be a mechanic that forces you to be extremely vulnerable, like stopping to do a scan hammer. Yeah. But you're right. I do like that idea.
So I think one of the hard parts about this in general is in most games there's always some kind of counter to stealth. Always has been. WoW is a perfect example. Hunters had flares, and these flares would show anybody that is in stealth when they get close enough. Now, the issue with this is the reason why that worked for WoW was because the people that got stealth were melee characters. These were, melee class, and they had to get up on your ass to be able to be of any use. So a flare being inside of a circle wound up being a really good ability. Now, you throw that in Firefall, the person that gets stealth is it's a sniper. It's a long-range character.
Run away, pew, pew, pew.
So there is no fantastic way to counter or easy way to counter stealth like WoW had,
Too true.
Yeah. It shouldn't be that long, I think, yes.
It should definitely not be that long.
No, not
for
even
a sniper,
close.
it doesn't make sense. I mean, if you're really melee only, I mean, it can make somewhat sense, but if you're so far away, it just can... I don't know.
With how strong melee is right now, I don't necessarily think I would want to see a stealth ability that allowed you to stay in stealth for very long as a melee class.
Especially since every class can have the blade now. I mean, they always could, but...
True.
Oh, man, those blades with certain perks and stuff like that, dear God, they hurt.
The knockback / stun perk? Why?
Oh, yeah. 20% increase to its damage and then also a stun. Dear, you cheap bastards. Like, that shit hurts. But no, that is one of the things that I do like about the combat in general, though, is being able to mix up the perks and make something that is completely different and unique when it comes to your frame. But there are definitely some things that still need work.
Absolutely.
And I hope that they get work sometime in the near future, because I would like to see Arena PvP back, damn it.
I think everybody wants the Arena PvP back. That's the reason I played this.
Yeah. No, that was the main reason why I joined in the first place, was like, hey, look at that. This PvP match looks awesome. I want to play it. And then I get into it, and I was like, oh, this is fun, but... and this is for me personally. This is fun, but I absolutely hate the fact that gear matters in PvP right now. So I stopped playing it, and I only focused on PvE for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as they made it so you had restriction gear, then I played the ever-living crap out of PvP.
Oh, yeah.
I played
all the time.
I played, like, seriously, anytime I logged into Firefall, I was like, PvP, 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 yes! Ugh! Kill him. Because I'm good at PvP. I'm not fucking fantastic. I'm no Superior, Shapiro, or any of those people.
I beat Superior once! Yay!
Once! Hooray!
He was AFK or what?
Wasn't that bad. Wait, Nak, you were there. No, Crazy was there. Damn it.
No, I was there.
You were there.
Yeah, it was
Witness.
during Sinful Sunday.
Yep, that was right. It was Sinful Sunday. I thought it was Crazy Stream. You're right. It was yours.
Yep.
Yes, witness.
So yeah, shameless plug. Sinful Sundays, come join us in Broken Peninsula from 5 p.m. PDT to roughly like 7 or 8 p.m. PDT. Yeah, where we run around and kill each other. Shameless plug. But on the Community of Chaos.
Boom.
Yeah.
There.
Bam. I have plugged myself for the day. I'm good. Now, like I was saying, so after running around and having a bunch of fun with PvP, having restriction gear, when it was removed, it was just like, God damn it, no, right when PvP was amazing, it just needed some balancing, they take it out, and now I'm stuck with PvE. Like, I've done the PvE thing. I don't want to do PvE anymore. And now the only form of PvP that we have is Broken Peninsula, which... As much as I like Broken Peninsula, I love the idea of Broken Peninsula.
It's just not the same as having 5 people really quickly go
Exactly.
head on, and you're fighting 5 people. You can quickly enough learn each of those other people on the team and how they fight and stuff.
Yep.
More so than that, you're all balanced out. You all have the same gear. You all are at the same advantage level. It's all about your skill at that point.
Which is
And coordination, but yeah, part of skill.
One of the big
For a
problems
skill-based shooter.
That's one of the big problems that Broken Peninsula has right now. Broken Peninsula allows you to use crafted gear and everything, and because of that, it winds up being very, very not fun when someone that has like 950 power rating comes in, because most people when they first hit 40 have about, 750, 800 power rating. That 150 does a lot
really
of
does.
freaking damage, or damage reduction. So...
That's over 150% base damage right there.
yeah, exactly. Like, that's not
That
fun.
150 alone. That's not including all the other power rating they already have on you.
Yeah, or perks, or spiny cores, which freaking make it so that you do 10% damage to yourself while you're shooting them, and all kinds of crap like that. It's not fun.
Yeah.
That right there is such a sore topic for me, the spiny cores. I don't know who thought people were asking for spiny cores. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to have an absolute counter with no counterplay to it. I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
It came from Spiny Heavy Armor, which was a mod version of the Heavy Armor, which was great
what I'm
in
saying is-
PvE, but in PvP it's really not fair.
Exactly. No one asked for a passive version of that skill. The skill makes sense because although there's not really any counterplay, you could run away at least until it goes away. Now it's just forever.
So I've had that in other games, so I guess it doesn't really matter all that much to me. In WoW, I played a druid, and I had Thorn Bark. I can't remember the name of that ability,
Thornmail?
but no, not Thornmail.
Thornmail's League of Legends.
Something
Right.
Bark.
Same thing,
Roughly the same thing. It does like 15% damage to things that are attacking me.
Mhm.
And it was nice, and it was a buff that lasted for 10 minutes. So throw that up on me and I'm good. Now, it didn't really cause too much of an issue because when you're playing as a melee character, you kind of need something to boost as much damage as you possibly can, and it was mostly used for like tanks because tanks needed that damage output, and that was the only thing that they could really do. When we have that same type of ability in a first-person shooter, though, that's where it's like, that's where it starts to cause a little bit of an issue. I think it needs balancing, that's for sure, but I don't necessarily think that it is a bad idea.
Well, let me put it this way. I don't think the reason it works in a lot of other MMOs is because in other MMOs, almost every class you play can get some form of lifesteal. So you might be losing health, but you might be getting health back too.
You can get lifesteal in this game too.
You can. I was going to get to that. You can for one class or two classes.
No, for any class with health surge.
Exactly.
Well, that's
but
not
that
life
does
steal.
require.
That's not really lifesteal, but
it does work. You're correct. But I don't know. It feels dirty because
you have ways to heal yourself. There are ways to keep yourself alive. So
you're right. There are.
It's just in general, it just doesn't feel as fun though in a first-person shooter where you're just taking your precious time to aim. You get that headshot, and that only increases the damage dealt back to you.
True.
It does
could kill you.
It might, in League of Legends, when they're attacking someone with my old character looking top down, I can understand that, okay, I'm getting burnt by Shyvana's Raging Fire and the Thornmail stabbing me in the face every time I try and attack them. But in a first-person shooter where I'm trying to carefully aim and controlling valve myself, it just gets rid of the satisfying feeling of that one part, so in my opinion, it just doesn't feel as good in a first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Alright. Well, I think this is one of those topics where we could seriously sit here and beat a dead horse all day.
Easily.
Just because balance is something that we all have different opinions about, and we all see differently. Like Dragonfly, for example. I don't necessarily think that's something that needs to be nerfed, but Highsight here does. So, again, this is one of those things where we could converse about this all day. So let's jump on to our next topic. Celestial wings, if you don't know what that is, that's the really awesome, like, glowy fucking wings that pop off of your back when you hit them, and they pop you into the air. They have a 2-minute cooldown, and they're the only way that you can get them is off of the vending machines.
I thought they had them to the Red Bean store too.
No, they didn't add them to the Red Bean store. They are only in the vending machine, but you can purchase them off of the market if a player decides to sell them. But they usually go for about 80k.
Up to 100k.
Up to 100. Mm-hmm. I've seen them for like 140 before. But
oh yeah.
The price has come down
substantially. Yeah.
Roughly like around 80 to 100,000
credits, yeah.
That's a lot of freaking money. That's a lot of money that I do not have, you know? So it's awesome for those people that are selling it because you're definitely going to make it. People want those celestial glider wings.
They look and feel awesome.
Oh, they also have the most utility of any of the other gliders because you could fly up first and then go.
Yeah. I can use all 3 afterburners and then use it, and it's like, oh, I hit the skybox. Shit. I'm now stuck, you know? So they're fun. They're cool. I definitely like them. They're a great addition to the vending machine. It's something that actually makes players want to jump in there, you know?
There have been so many players wasting their money.
But it's great for Red 5. Okay, so as much as people like to complain about this, like, I hate RNG and I think this is crap. They're milking as much money from us as they can and blah 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 blah. It is a free-to-play game.
Exactly. They need to get their money.
They need money somehow. And hey, guess what? This one is actually working for them. People are wanting to spend money to try and get these glider wings. Like, hey, no, just leave it. Let them do their thing. A bunch of people are wasting their money trying to get the celestial wings. And when they finally do, cool. Awesome-ass wings. Now, the rest of us that just want to keep on playing the game for free, those people that are whales are now floating the game for me so I can continue to play for free while you pay for their drinks and and their income and everything. So,
well, you still have to
It
pay
took me
for your
6
wiki
tokens.
whackers, but
hey, I got a video up to show you how to make wiki whackers if you want to know how to make those.
Oh, baby.
Oh, 2 shameless plugs. God damn it.
What you doing,
I'm
man?
on a roll today. Okay, so the glider wings, they're awesome. I love them, but they're being removed from the vending
machines.
machine, and a new thing is taking their place. They haven't really announced what it is just yet, but I have heard something about Icarus. That's all I've heard.
Icarus?
Can I just say how brilliant it was of an idea for them to remove their top selling or their top wanted
Motivating.
item, because now everybody and their cousin is spending all the money they can on the gold tokens to get that.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
For the
and
short term, but
For the short term.
for the Icarus, whatever comes next, it better be really good.
yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And see, also one of the other things too is they said something about seasonal. So if they put these on a rotating cycle, like awesome
Good for
things,
summer.
like summer will have the wings, and winter will have this, and so on and so forth will have that. It's definitely going to encourage new players that weren't playing at that time to be like, oh, what is this? These are so awesome, I want them! You know, without
Yep.
seeing a million people running around with the Celestial Glider Wings, so...
It's a great way to go, really. I think it was very wise of
Yeah.
them to go that
Yeah,
route.
no, seasonal items are a great way to do a cash up.
Hmm.
They just have to look out that people really want that item. Otherwise, you have like one season where nobody buys anything, or not anything.
Because
but
they've had some of their previous seasonal items, which is just like Emerald Glider. It's a slight color change and stuff. They kept just doing so many of those gliders in a row. Or
Superior.
Interesting.
changes to the old GP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see that?
Yeah, you see that? Superior's in here with us. Yeah, you
Oh,
must have
baby.
heard us talking about you earlier, because there you are. Icarus is going to be a blue glider with a new effect that spawns an updraft in front of you. Anybody
baby.
that doesn't know what updrafts are, they're
they're awesome.
a cloud, basically, that when you hit them, it acts as a wind current and it boosts you up into the air. They're awesome. I'm actually very sad that they removed them from just open world, because you used to be able to like hit those randomly floating around and then pop back up into the air higher, and your day is awesome.
So here's a visual example. Basically, imagine this is you gliding, and where my finger is an updraft. Oh, can't take it anymore, Captain. I'm going. Oh, God! And then you just go flying in that direction.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and I can't wait.
It's great. I loved updrafts. I'm glad that they'll be making a return in some way, shape, or
really
form.
missed them.
It sucks that they're going to be attached to a glider that that's a
Nobody has.
Yeah. That,
Well,
that you
if it
can only
spawns it
get
and
off of-
everyone can use it, though, then you only need one person in a large group. So
This
that
is
could
true.
be nice.
This is true.
Well, here's the beauty of it, though. Are they saying it's a glider or a glider pad? Because hear me out. If it's a normal glider, and when you activate it, that's where it puts the draft. What if people just started chaining those one after the other after the other? Updrafts for days for one dude.
But here's the thing: if it's the type like the Celestial Wings that flips you up and then activates it right in front of you afterwards, which seems kind of redundant, but if it is like that, then since you can, be flying with a normal glider afterburner stuff and then activate the Celestial Wings afterwards, you could keep stacking the updrafts higher and higher into the air. So
Mm-hmm.
each one
Go
can
straight for the
different
skybox.
ways. Yep.
Fly over the melding.
Just have
I've done
like
it.
50 people just stuck in the sky.
Anybody help? We're stuck in the sky.
It wouldn't be the first time that I've had a group of people stuck in the skybox.
Fun time.
Yeah, no. Back in the day, we used to have a bug where if you hit the glider pad twice, like if you were to hit the glider pad and then circle back around and hit the glider pad again, that you would get infinite gliding, and you could glide in any direction that you wanted to, and it was amazing.
I want it.
It was
Amazing.
bugged as all shit, and it was fun. We a few of us had like air dog fights with them and stuff like that. It was amazing. I loved it. It got fixed pretty quick, unfortunately.
I wonder why.
It only took like a couple weeks for them to fix that. But it's because we kept on getting stuck in the skybox and shit like that.
You remember when dropship pilots used to be drunk? I had a dropship once, literally just flew me straight up. It didn't move left, right, up or down, or left, right, north, south, east, west. It went up, and it just kept going over and over and over. And eventually I just jumped out and flew over the Melding and died. Note to self, the Melding is taller than it looks.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it
It's just a
proceeds
vertical
up.
the
wall.
whole area.
The top has a
Yep.
lip. Don't trust it. If you
The
go
lip is a
through
lie.
that lip, it's still going to kill you.
One of those tentacles just kind of comes out of it.
And it's sad,
It
too.
even kills you if you're under the terrain. If you're under the terrain and fly through it,
Yeah.
you still die, even if you don't see anything.
It's just a two-dimensional vector as far as the engine is
Yeah.
concerned. If
Mm.
you're
Yeah.
below it, above it, whatever, go beyond that point, you're dead.
Yeah, definitely below it. I found that out. When we had infinite gliding, one of the things that I did was I flew over by the arc light, flew behind it, and went under it, and because that's where the water ended, was over by the arc light. So I went under the water and I flew towards towards land, and that worked out fine. Like I got to underneath land, and I got to fly around all beneath the map technically, and it was interesting. And then I decided to get a little bit greedy, and I wanted to fly underneath the map that wasn't exposed yet. You know, see if I could find anything that I wasn't supposed to see, because I get stupid excited about shit that I'm not supposed to know about.
I used to do a lot of that.
It's
My
so much
YouTube
fun.
channel is just full of a ton of those videos of me going above the map, below the map, behind the melding.
Mm-hmm.
Because it used to be where there was actually a little gap. If you look down at the top of the map, way down south, there's a little gap and stuff, so you could fly around and be behind the map. You never have to go through the melding to do it, but you can end up all the way behind the map where Dredge and Redwood Forest and all that stuff are now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys, you saw my "Wish You Were There," "Wish You Were Here" post, right? The blog post they did on Red 5. Plug. Anyway, the last thing on there was actually the best thing I ever found by just poking my head in the melding was the early Scorcher. It's like this gigantic Scorcher just in the melding, like it's made of rock. It looks like, and to me that was the coolest thing I ever saw. That was there before there was even a Devil's Tusk. So it sounds like they had Scorchers planned for a while.
Oh yeah, they've definitely had a lot of those mobs and stuff on the back burner for quite a while. Everything that we experienced in beta, so you have to keep this in mind. As much as we like to complain about, oh, we don't have content and we don't have this, and I am so self-entitled, blah, 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 it was a test ground. That's all it was. So the reason why we didn't have a lot of different types of mobs, and we really only had like threshers and so on and so forth, was because all of the other mobs, all of the cool new ones that you see, were on the back burner, ready to go for launch, so that at launch you actually had something cool and interesting to experience for the first time. Well, all of the combat for said mobs, or so on and so forth, has already been tested. Just a little FYI, you know?
No, you're right. Absolutely.
Because a lot of people like to complain about that shit. So.
Well, on the other hand, they had to focus more on developing and fixing other systems than just creating content, because while when the system isn't in place, you can't try out new content because the system isn't in place. But once that is in place, then you can make new content. You can. It isn't as much of a problem anymore. So
Absolutely,
that's
got to
also
get the
why.
core system set first, and then you can run wild with content.
Or a lot of cases of they had some of the artists who'd be working on X, Y item, and this is the plan, but then the plan goes and gets changed as they start receiving some feedback, or they decide, okay, we don't want to do this, and then that stuff that the artists were working on, it could be a model or a creature or whatever, it just gets put off to the side, and then, a lot of the stuff wasn't used back then, so for launch, they just took a lot of that stuff and started using it.
Does this look pretty? Does this look good?
Yeah.
This is cool? Okay. In the game. We're good.
A little bit more than that. You can't just have them all. You have to make sure everything's animated and all those things are
I'm
tied in.
just being a smartass. Oh man,
Snakeapedes. Just saying.
oh man, not even the snakeapedes. So
Snakeapede.
you know the gremlins, right?
Oh yeah.
One of the funniest things that I ever saw, and okay, screw it. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it. I'm gonna say it
Go for it.
because I tend to do this. One of the funniest things that I ever saw is a gremlin stuck in T pose. Like they didn't even have animations for it. It was just T pose and then floating around like
a little blade or something. Weird slide
around. Oh, it's so good. It was seriously like if you take an action figure and you go doo 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 doo, you know. It was so great. I loved it.
It's like Smash. You know how everything's just made up of trophies? It's like literally just someone moving a trophy.
Oh, lemons. Nakiato's job title is being a jackass, huh? Wow, you wanna know what? This jackass is being a better host than you. Oh! Bring it.
Suddenly the stream just gets shut down and disappears. How'd that happen?
Well, so let's continue on. Now that we've reminisced and all, events coming up. So there are some cool events. We've got Powwow and Fao. Like always, we have that every week. Love Mika. She's a really, really cool person. So watching her stream some Powwow and Fao is pretty entertaining. Plus, really little hot, cute chick with purple hair. You want to watch that. In fact, I bet that's why she has most of the viewers that she has. Is everybody's just like, oh my god, look at her, she's hot. Yes. Okay. So without that out of the way, Dragonfly Weekend coming up. Still coming up. Starts tomorrow.
Again, Dragonfly.
5 p.m. PDT. If you want to go ahead and level some dragonflies and get as much experience as you can, this is the way to do it. Hop onto your dragonfly this weekend, or buy the dragonfly this weekend if you want, because it's going to be on discount. And then the other thing that we've got is the fan video challenge number 4. What's one something in 60 seconds? Shit, what is that? I didn't actually read the description of this this video challenge. Somebody.
Let me quickly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Shit, none of us read it.
Subject: create a fan video that is 60 seconds or less that depicts shows off update 1.1 elemental destruction. So decide whatever you want and do it. Pertaining to elemental destruction.
So really, it's going to be a 5-second video of elemental weapons. Done. You know.
Or it could be the change to combat the events.
Yeah, I know. But for the most part, like that was the major thing in there. Was oh my god, we got new prefixes and cool
cluster
shit.
grenades.
But like, what do you guys think about any of this stuff? Like, fan video challenges for me are amazing. I love the fan video challenges. Now, I don't have time to do them anymore, but I love the fact that we are now getting a reason to self-promote our own damn YouTube channels through the company, and they're going to do marketing for us, basically. That's awesome. More companies need to do shit like that in general. Like, thank you, Red 5, for being amazing when it comes to supporting everybody that streams or makes videos and so on and so forth. That's amazing.
Red 5.
So actually, that's one area where I absolutely have loved Red 5, and in fact, that's one of the reasons why I've stuck with this community for so freaking long, is just because Red 5 has always been awesome and supported us. So I want to support them, because they're chill as fuck.
It's true.
They're good people. They've supported the community of Chaos quite a bit through our streaming, and actually it's where it all started. So anytime a company does that for you, you're gonna be an appreciative fan for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. You scratch my back, I'm gonna scratch the hell out of your back.
Yeah, that's why also all these video channels are working for both ways. I mean, you do something, and Red 5 does promote it, but you also get Red 5 also gets promotion from your videos about Firefall, and they get more videos about Firefall out there on the internet, and so people find more videos about Firefall, and more people find more Firefall. So in the end, it's a win-win on both sides. So it's really surprising that not more companies do that.
Yeah. more companies in general need to do shit like that. Like I love when companies do any kind of promotional work like that. What do you guys think about the Battleframe weekends? I honestly think Battleframe weekends need to be slightly changed in some way, shape, or form.
I've stopped caring about them because all my advanced frames are level 40, and all of my other frames are either 40 or 30 plus. So I've stopped caring for the most part.
Well, see, that's just you.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Before then, I didn't. They were a good time if I wanted to level up a frame. Then it was as good a weekend as any to jump on and activate a couple XP boosts and binge for a while. But I don't know. That just always felt kind of lackluster and stuff. Kind of like a filler event.
Yeah, and Terricon, what you say is actually, it echoes of a deeper problem in the game that I've been saying for a long time. Why does our XP just fizzle after level 40? That is such a good currency that can be used. It just goes away. It's like, you didn't get that. That didn't happen. What a waste.
Especially
That's all
when
I'm saying.
things currently are giving XP as their main reward.
Yeah. Oh man, it's really bad when I'm running around Broken Peninsula, and I'm getting 75,000 experience for taking an outpost, and I have I'm on a maxed out frame because this is a level 40 area, and I'm getting 75,000 experience that goes towards nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You bastards!
Now I will say one.
Show me that. Like I don't want to know how much experience I'm not getting.
It feels like I just wasted this.
Yeah.
I'm just burning my money right here. Just But anyway, what I will say though is it does do one really good thing, and that is it introduces a frame to somebody who doesn't have that frame. Exactly. So for new people, it's amazing because they get to play Electron for the first time, or Dragonfly, or Arsenal, and that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also think that's why the reason, or is the reason why in, because not everyone is at the level cap, so there are still a lot of new people. And every now and then there will be new people. So I think it's really a chance for people to get to know a new frame. Or some might think, oh, I never play this class because I don't like it. But this weekend, I get more XP, so why not try it? So it's kind of a chance to just go through every frame once if they have time on the weekend.
So well, I'm sorry, let me just ask you this, though. What if they kept it, but they reworked it? So instead it's more like a free rotation thing, where instead of one frame getting a highlight, because, what if it was like an Accord Assault or something like that? No one's benefiting out of that except for people who need experience. What if instead... No, not just the perks. What if instead they, for the weekend, an entire archetype was the highlight, and you could play any frames in those archetypes?
We actually mentioned that in one of the past episodes.
Yeah, last episode.
Having archetypes counted as the weekend boost would be perfect because think about it. We have 5 archetypes. 5. 5 archetypes. And there are 4 weeks in a month. Now, it is a lot easier to cycle through 5 instead of 16 different, weeks.
Including those
and then
Accords.
You also have to include like experience weekends and this weekend and resources and there are too many weekends.
You'll get 2 times each frame in an entire 1-year period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So change that shit. Reduce it. Make it archetypes instead. And then also make it so we have something useful to spend experience on.
Yeah, seriously. Make it a currency. But hell, you could solve crafting right now if you let us spend our excess XP on crafting materials. I'm just saying. That would be such a good solution to me.
Well, for you. But
I think crafting needs a lot more than just
Okay, I'll give you that.
Crafting needs a lot of work.
I'm just saying if they're going to do it in their current iteration, which I'm glad that they're not, that would have been a good solution. Well, not solution, but a good step forward. I would say what sucks about it, and you talked about this earlier, Nakiato, with saying how they had gotten, what would you say they had so perfectly lined up before launch, then they got rid of it. There was something else you were saying. But anyway, they had crafting perfect. They had the GUI perfect, or the UI perfect. They had not so much the balancing, but they had the content kind of perfect.
Are you talking about pre or in beta still?
I'm talking about like literally last patch before launch. Balancing wasn't perfect.
I think that's the time when I absolutely hated crafting the absolute most.
And that's why it was perfect.
No. Okay, so a lot of people like say that we want crafting back to the way it was before launch. No, I don't want either iteration. I do not like either one. Now, I thought the resources were a fantastic reason to have people go around the world and thumping and stuff like that. That's great. You know, that gives them a reason to actually do this dynamic form of resource collection.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Now, the issue is it's also super complicated for people. Super complicated. My most viewed video is still to this day how to craft a stage 2 item.
That's hilarious.
I have some pretty awesome fucking videos, and it's the crafting one. The crafting
so what you're telling me
anymore.
What you're telling me is that crafting is what made you a YouTube star.
No. I got some pretty sweet videos other than that. It's just that one is the one that's most viewed. Well, actually, that one's the most viewed that's related to Firefall. I have an STD test video that has about like 25K. But yeah, that one gets a lot of hate.
Personally, I think they could have kept it more complicated, but they would have to. Well, they have now a system with the market where you can have buy orders, but I think that if there was a different system where you have had more direct selling, a different kind of market, I think it would have worked better, because then you had really dedicated crafters who knew what they were doing, who want to learn everything of the system, and the ones that just, I'm going to buy whatever I get. So it's kind of a bit more, everyone can choose what they want, but now it's more like, crafting isn't worth it, really, and the depth isn't there, and nobody really likes it, but it's still there.
It's like the old system had a lot of depth, but it also had a massive amount of complexity to the actual interaction. It also, on the back-end system, because of all those different resources and stuff that the system had to produce, it had its problems on the supply, demand, and the technical end. The current one is, in my opinion only, keep this in mind, you have unimaginably simplified system with the smallest amount of depth coming from RNG, which just pisses me off to no end.
Yes.
But when you look at that giant crafting UI menu now, you have to try and manually click through each of these things to find what you're looking for and figure everything out. And then you have to go and craft all these subcomponents to make these things. It's still, the entire thing feels like it's even more complex and hard to get through than the old one was.
Yeah.
So it's like they have the worst of both worlds right now, and they need something that's the best of both worlds, so they need something that's new, and they're currently on the drawing board for that, so I'm hoping that they come up with a good way to do it this time, but we'll wait and see, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, what I would like to see is I'd like to see more emphasis, less on crafting the gear itself, more emphasis on crafting the modules. That to me seems to be the way to go, to make it simpler and not necessarily super expensive to get your gear where you want to get it. You can tweak the gear you find. You could even still make the gear you find if you really wanted to. You can make that expensive, but not nearly as expensive as it is now, bear in mind. But you can make it all about the modules being the biggest focus, wherein we want the purple module for this that we want to craft so we can tweak out our gear exactly how we want it, you know?
Yeah. James actually said something.
Yeah.
That's true. It's not complex now, it's just tedious.
Amen.
And that's a perfect way to say it. The crafting system right now that we have, it's just tedious, if anything. In fact, that's one of the main reasons why I haven't made any type of video explaining the current crafting system right now, is because the crafting system that we have right now feels like a beta crafting system. It feels like something that we should have tested before, launch hit. But instead we got a complete rework to crafting that was untested.
Clearly, because if they saw the numbers, they would have known.
Yeah. See, now when it comes to RNG is one of those things where, like, I don't mind. I'm okay with RNG.
If it's done right.
But not in crafting.
RNG in crafting can be awesome, but the way that we have it in crafting right now is not awesome.
Right.
I don't want random fucking prefixes. I want prefixes on what I want those prefixes on. And then also one of the other things too is the modules. Modules are a great way to change the way abilities and so on and so forth work. Now, if you give me the ability to make a ability or a weapon right there in the menu, throw a little bit more resources down, and be able to craft the modules right into the damn weapon without having to craft 3 or 4 different items and then put them together, I think that'd be a cool, interesting way to do that. If you wanted to do RNG, a cool way to do RNG is every now and then you'll get a boost to the overall item in general. So you're crafting a white, every now and then it'll boost you up to a green, you know? Bam, RNG. Fun RNG. Because as soon as that happens, it's just like, I was going to go craft a blue, and it made a purple! Hooray! You know? So you get a nice little increase to all of the stats, you know? Just a little increase, because it makes that item now a purple item
The
instead.
key part being that the RNG can be a bonus, it doesn't annoy you.
Exactly!
Right. But now, here's the thing, is if you want to keep the RNG prefixes as it is right now, that's perfectly fine, but there's got to be a reforge system. Look at Terraria. Who here's played Terraria?
Nope.
No, no one.
Nope.
Okay, well, here's the deal. With Terraria, you could get any piece of gear. It could have any random prefix on it. You could craft it even, and it would have a random prefix. Every time it would be random no matter what. There are certain prefixes that are obviously going to be better. But the beauty was, if you had something that had a really good prefix, or even a really bad prefix, you could reforge it, which would just give it a new prefix. Depending on if that prefix was already a really, really good prefix, it costs you more to reforge it. If it was a really crappy prefix, it would cost you less to reforge it. And you could keep going until you finally got the prefix you were looking for without having to build from scratch.
I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this at all.
Okay.
No, not you. James.
Oh.
James. My belief is that you have to dump it all and start over from scratch. It's not a simple process. I think it's the same. It's in the same boat as Arena PvP. It has to be completely redone. Arena PvP did not have to be completely redone. Everything worked fantastically. The
Just
only
tweaks.
thing that it needed was tweaks. It needed a reason for you to play it. So, you know, unlocks or you get items or so on and so forth for actually playing PvP. You needed something to engage you instead of just like, hey, I feel like going to go kill some people, you know? You need something to entice people. That was one of its downfalls. That's why its queue times were long, was because you were only having PvP people want to PvP while you have no reason for PvE people to play PvP. And other games have done this just fine. Now, the other thing, too, is when it comes to balance. Balance was a huge deterrent factor for a lot of people. Now, there were a lot of people that blamed lack of skill on balance, because that happens everywhere, no matter what game you play. Oh my god, that Electron is so OP, it killed me in 2 shots. Oh,
That was me!
Yeah, well, to be fair, Electron was overpowered.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
awful as fuck.
But you could say that about the weakest frame, and people did. People complained about, oh, snipers are so overpowered in Arena. Okay, well, no, they're not actually, because they're a long-distance frame where the only thing that they really have useful ability, or the only useful ability that they have here is stealth. Which, when you're carrying like the jet ball or something like that, guess what? You can't have, or you can have stealth on, but you can still see the ball floating and running away. So it's not useful being a ball carrier or anything. So there goes most of your use right there. Now, these are all just small tweaks that they needed to do to make it fun. One say-so from Mr. Bossman and it's gone. That's it. That's all it was. One person decided, we should take it out. It's not as popular as we wanted it to be, and it's no longer there. And then after that, said person, I'm not saying said person's name because I don't want to cause drama or anything like that. Said person even said, hey, guess what? This was a mistake. I should not have removed this. You think? You know? I could have told you that, like, the second I read that damn thing. So, no. All right, so that's where we have a difference in opinion, James. No, PvP should not have been removed. Honestly,
No.
they could turn it on
Right
now, exactly how it was,
but
with
it won't work
one
right
or
now.
two slight
Right now,
changes.
no. The AoE changes, if you actually go and look at the speed changes, the AoE and everything, they'd have to completely find a way to change the balance.
Shut up.
Put
Now.
all the frames
Now.
right.
Oh, you're right.
No.
Now.
Yeah, now.
But
now,
the thing is, you
okay.
alter speed and stuff like that. Make the changes for arena
They'd
gear and
have to
everything.
change everything very massively, like just the basic movement speed, because remember how they cranked it up a bit in bunch with launch, and then changed how their stuff works? The changes are massive. A lot of the maps, they're designed with the size of their corridors and interiors. Like the default splash on the plasma cannon or with the fire cat just will envelop, especially with the recluse. It completely fills entire rooms and corridors that they had in the old PvP maps. Either they have to completely rechange to the point that it's not just, it's like, hey, let's give everyone stage 2 gear or something, or like level 20 stuff. It would be completely changing to the point of, okay, well, this here's like up with 40, but then this is lower than what we'd have on a stock frame. They'd have to completely change stuff. So at this point, they need some big reholes or rehole. I forget that word. I'm bad with that. I'm forgetting it. They need to do some big changes. Or they need to go and just change the maps, such as, adjusting them, increasing size, tweaking them a bit. Some small tweaks, others large, though. But my point is, it's not something that they can just bring back at a moment's notice at this point. They went way too long without the instance PvP and let a lot change.
Yeah.
So.
And I will say, Joe Taro brings up a good point. Perks alone would mess up PvP. No perks. There should be no perks in PvP, period. None. I don't want to see that.
Balance gear, related. Perks.
Yep.
Gone.
Yep.
Balance gear.
Balance gear,
there. Perks, gone. Or at least, if you're going to include perks, make them the reason why you play. So, I got up to level 5 in PvP. I now have yada yada perk.
Holmgang level.
Something.
I'm a level 5 Holmganger.
Mm-hmm.
That would work. That would work.
But something along those lines that could work just fine. Again, you would need to balance the perks specifically for PvP. But
I wouldn't mind if there's a separate system. I would not mind.
Yeah, what you could do is you can make a separate system that they only pick and choose perks that they know wouldn't break PvP. For example, none of that extra stealth time crap.
Oh man, and you want to know what? Those balances that they wind up make into perks or so on and so forth. That shit needs to be in Broken Peninsula. I'm just saying that right now. I don't care that it's a level 40 zone. I want to be able to play fairly with everyone. Okay.
Definitely agree. I understand it's open world. I understand it's open world PvP, ladies and gentlemen. I understand it. There needs to be a line, okay? There needs to be a line for balance. That is end of story. Now, I'm not saying all perks need reworking. I'm just saying there are clearly some that need looking at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
But only for when you're in Broken Peninsula should these changes apply, of course.
Some of them need changes all over, but
well, that too.
Is PvP, still broken a lot of them are just problematic.
Yeah. Anyone know if Stampede's still broken as hell? Because it used to be it's like a 3-meter sphere around you, even in the air. It would pull people down, and they would just not move, period. Like, literally not move. The only way you can move is with jump jets.
I don't know if it was fixed or not.
I think it was stacking with itself or something.
I'm not sure if it's still doing
it. It was causing issues, but I don't know. I don't know if it was fixed. I haven't seen it in patch notes or anything. Well, patch notes
Superior
that I've
says, read. Soup says, yeah, it's sad.
All right, but we are coming to a pretty close ending for this. So there are just a couple more things that I did want to mention. We have Sitting on a Couch did a review update for Elemental Destruction, the patch that just came out a little while ago. If you want to read that, it's up on their website. If you would like to read James's down in chat experience with actually meeting Red 5, going around and talking with them and doing all of that, if you want a behind-the-scenes look at how they operate, then check that out on mmorpg.com. They have they have a pretty nifty article there. James was all excited about going there. He was messaging me, and he was like, "Oh my god, these guys are so awesome!" And I was like, "I know, right? Like, I love.
Give me questions to ask. Give me questions to ask.
I want to meet them so bad.
Oh man, it's fun. It's really fun.
They're good people.
I'm sure.
Enjoyable.
Oh man, my favorite one, and I have mentioned this before, but I don't think you were there. Or well, obviously you weren't there. I don't know if you had watched it, but my favorite part was the Tiki Time area, where they have like 5 different kinds of whiskey, 5 different kinds of vodka, like just an entire shelf of alcohol, and then they have 2 refrigerators for all kinds of different drinks, like your Monsters and your Red Bulls and your orange juice and your mixers for alcohol and so on and so forth. And they have a bar setup area that's tiki themed, and that's all you do, and you can drink while you're working.
I'm facing you right now, sir, and I must say you are speaking my language.
Oh my god, I was so happy. I was just like, oh, I want to work here so bad.
They understand the Balmer Peak. They are programmers who know what the Balmer Peak is. That is a miracle in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't think that there's anything really going on. It makes me so sad. I wanted to do something nice and interesting where I kind of just promote new streamers or something like that, something along those lines, and mention people that are streaming still recently, and point us, our viewers right here, to them to go watch them. Now, the issue that I'm running into is none of them are good. There's I was watching some of them and I was just like, oh god, please stop doing that, please.
Cringeworthy. Seriously.
Oh man. Now I'm not gonna go any further into that. I'm just going to say I am very sad with our stream community right now. Not us. Community of Chaos is awesome. But but like seriously, streamers, up your fucking game. You guys need to get better at that shit. Soup though, I actually will promote Soup. Soup has been doing some pretty good live streams. He's been streaming Broken Peninsula a lot, and he is very knowledgeable about the game. If you want to view Soup's streams, he usually streams at night, so he's a pretty chill dude. You can see him in chat. Go ahead and hit that follow button for him.
He's a good dude. I beat him once.
Yeah,
once.
He's a good dude. Which I guess if you are watching this on YouTube, I guess I can include his information down in the description below. If we have to. And then other than that, keep your eye on MMORPG.com and sittingonacouch.com. All really good places to find, information about Firefall or all kinds of other MMOs and stuff like that. Like, Sitting on a Couch does podcasts for other things, like, I'm coming up. Guild Wars. Yeah, Guild Wars. That's one of those games with the RPGs and the stuffs.
That is a thing that does games and sometimes the R's with the GPs.
Mm-hmm.
They do P with the G's with the R's sometimes.
They also do Arcade and stuff like that too. So all cool stuff if you want to go check any of that out. If you want to follow any of us, I'm Nakiato. It has been fun. It has been great talking with you guys today. Follow me on YouTube /D3ADZOMBI3 or on Twitch, twitch.tv/Nakiato, Nakiato. Go for it.
I'm, Terricon 4. I guess you can watch my news articles on Reddit or on brontodon.com. Don't really use Twitter or any of that stuff. I used to do some videos on my YouTube channel, but I haven't put out anything in a long time there. If you want to see some old exploration under the melding and breaking of the game stuff, then just for the fun of it, like I just select compilations. You know how way back when the big old claws and stuff, how they love to do the spinning thing? Way back, if you'd shoot them in the mid-spinning animation, they just go flying off through the air. I have compilations of stuff like that, but yeah. Enough of a tangent. Next.
And I am Highsight. I'm actually going to be streaming immediately after this, hence the green screen. I've been talking in chat all day, so just make sure you go there, because I will be over there playing a little TF2 after this. And
I've got a cheap green screen too, but it's just because yours isn't cheap, mine's cheap.
Mine's not cheap.
Yeah, yours was like $80.
I wish it was. Mine was expensive. The stand was broken when I got it. I still just have mine up
because I'm a cheap bastard, or I'm a lazy bastard, and I didn't want to.
No,
like,
you're a
move
smart
my screen
bastard
or anything like that. So it's just like, dang it, I'm gonna leave that there and do this. Yeah.
But yeah, I play all sorts of FPSs. I play RPGs. I play every genre. I'm a big indie guy too. So if you guys have any indie games you want me to play, let me know. But of course, Firefall is my home, and I know I'll always be coming back to it.
Yeah. It's like the girlfriend that's cheated on you several times, but you still love the shit out of her, and you're just like, baby, but the sex is so good, I want to stay.
It's exactly that, actually. It's like, I know I shouldn't, but it's gonna happen.
Yep. What's that song? Self-Esteem by Offspring.
By Offspring, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a sucker with no self-esteem.
Yeah, no. That is your relationship with Firefall.
That dirty girl.
Yep.
Well, and I'm Dark Cisum. I just play Firefall from time to time, not often, but every day, I guess, still, but not that much. And you can follow me on Twitter at Dark Cisum, but I've also running the account for RAR for Firefall, so you can also find me on Twitter there, and you can also check out the website. We have a lot of outdated information there currently, but I really like to update that sometime when I get around to it, but it's a lot of work writing stuff and updating old content. So.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
I know the feeling, dude. One thing that I wanted to try and get into was trying to make videos explaining how things work, like crafting and so on and so forth, for websites specifically. So for like RAR for Firefall or Bronodon.com or something along those lines. But I have no effing time, and when I tried to work on that stuff, I was just like, nope. No, I just want to play some damn games. So,
that was actually when I first came into Bronodon.com, one of my key things was work on some tutorial videos and stuff, because I done race video work and all. But it's like, okay, so I'm getting together with me because I didn't have a good mic then, so there's another guy who was doing the voiceovers. We get it, we're working, we get our tutorial for the call down menus and how all that stuff works, and lo and behold, there's a patch that just completely changed all that. Okay, let's try something else. Once again, a patch completely changes everything instantly.
That has happened like 3 times for one specific thing. Oh, and when PvP was removed. Screw you, Red 5. Holy crap.
You know who to screw. You know specifically who to screw.
So at the time that happened, I was doing videos for hoversprint.com.
Oh no!
Which no longer exists.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I miss HoverSprint. I was doing videos for them, and I was doing guide videos on how to play frames during PvP and what to do and how PvP worked and layouts and so on and so forth. And I got like 4 videos in, and all of a sudden PvP was just boom, gone. And I was like, oh!
No notice, no nothing, just gone.
I had like 15 more videos to make. Damn it.
Yeah.
That is really a ball buster is what that is.
And if you are still watching, this is just us, just conversing and having fun at the end,
Jotaro, I want to thank you for following me, and I want to thank specifically you because congratulations, sir. You are my 50th follower. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Cool dude, right? Man.
But yeah, no, I think it is just about that time, ladies and gentlemen.
Not yet, because there's one more thing that needs to happen. You didn't do it. I got to do it.
What?
I'm plugging the hell out of COCGN.com. That's Community of Chaos, my streaming group. Nakiato's part of it, but he doesn't want to keep bragging about it.
Hey.
You.
I may plug the shit out of everything, but I can't necessarily plug that same thing every week.
That's why I'll do it.
So
COCGN.com. Hit us up. We're a good group.
Yeah. Just watch us. Oh, what is it? Like only 13 more followers until we hit 1,400.
I think it's about that. Yeah.
Yeah. 1,400 followers. That's fucking awesome.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, other than that, I think it is now time to end
Now
the stream.
it's time.
Yeah, now it's
Yeah.
time.
For the 10th time, it is now time.
For the 10th
The time is now!
time. Whoa. All right. No, thank you everybody that has decided to watch today. If you're watching this on YouTube or so on and so forth, I'm going to include something down in the description to where you can watch all of our past episodes. It's a forum post on the official Firefall forums, and it'll also have any updates or anything for the show. So in case we have to postpone or anything like that, that is the perfect place to check on all of this. As for our sponsors, we're sponsored by MMORPG.com and Sitting on a Couch. Awesome people, go check them out. Go do your thing with those. And that, I think we're good. I think we're clear to just go ahead and end it. So, thank you guys again for watching. It is fantastic. Thank you guys for the follows and the subscribes and so on and so forth.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you for joining, dude.
Yeah, thanks.
And remember, I'm streaming soon, so pop by quick. See ya.
Yeah, go watch that guy's stream. Go do it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Listen to that guy. Right, that guy.
Okay, thank
You should always listen to me.